Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Apolitical Vigilante live from a cave somewhere underneath Wayne Manor in suburban Gotham. The Political Vigilante is here. I cover stories like either in a way that the corporate media doesn't, or just cover them because they don't want to cover them. So it's been a tough time for billionaire sex trafficking pedophiles. I mean, they just can't catch a break. First, this mullet wearing maggot. Look at this rat. Former fashion executive. Oh, there's going to be a theme. Fashion. It's going to be a theme. Executive Peter Nygaard arrested in Canada on sex trafficking charges. Of course, we know Ghislaine Maxwell. She got arrested several months ago. Still haven't seen an actual photo of her. Still haven't seen any of these people get arrested. I've seen no like perp walk photos, no like orange jumpsuit, no like in the back of a squad car. I've seen none of those photos or videos. Maybe they're out there. I am not seeing them. Jean-Luc Brunel, modeling agent, modeling fashion world. Weird. Agent suspected of recruiting girls for Jeffrey Epstein, arrested. This happened like 2 days ago. Arrested. We're going to get into who this guy is. I haven't talked about him that much because there's so many monsters associated with Epstein. It's hard to keep track of all of them. But here's the thing. This guy's been on the run. He got arrested in Paris. Okay. But over the summer, this came out. Jean-Luc is seen cavorting with fugitive rape suspect. Ghislaine Maxwell is seen cavorting with fugitive rape suspect Jean-Luc Brunel, who gave Jeffrey Epstein 3 12-year-old triplets to abuse as a birthday present. In newly uncovered photos taken on Pedophile Island. Pair can be seen laughing, play fighting, relaxing in the Caribbean sunshine. Maxwell and Jean-Luc were described as Epstein's closest friends and have been accused of recruiting girls into a sex ring and participating in the abuse. Triplet 12-year-olds. Oh, isn't it like a fun trip between two pedophile sex trafficking monsters? Look at them putting their 2 rat faces next to each other on Pedophile Island. You know, the island that Bill Clinton's visited. You know, they probably took the Lolita Express, Bill Clinton flight log show. He's been on it 26 times. Trump's been on it once. Hillary's been on it twice. Alan Dershowitz, all these rats. Oh, aren't they fun loving? This is like, remember seeing that? You ever see that footage that came out after World War II of like Hitler up at his castle, like playing with kids and a dog? And oh, doesn't he look so cute and fun? It's like that. That's what you're looking at. That's what Graham. It's too serious. That's too much to compare these people to Hitler that killed 6 million Jews. Okay, these two individually, along with Epstein, have raped and trafficked hundreds of girls. We sent armies to defeat Hitler. These people have been running around free for a long time. We had a national like movement to stop Hitler. And people like this have been operating for decades, if not centuries. So you'll forgive me. Still no photos of them. Still no photos of them in prison. Brunel was arrested Wednesday at Paris de Gaulle Airport trying to go to Senegal as he has been held in questioning by the Special Victims Unit in Paris. Senegal. Yeah, I'm sure they have some like no extradition laws and whatever. Brunel has long been accused of enabling and participating in Epstein's abuse of girls and of using the promise of modeling work to lure in underage victims. I've talked about this before. I mean, this is the MO. This is why it's not like, where's Les Wexner? How come he hasn't been arrested? How come he's not even charged? How come officials aren't even looking for this guy? How come Prince Andrew hasn't been arrested? Oh, that's right. He's friends with Trump. Les Wexner operates in Ohio. How come he hasn't been rounded up? But this is the MO, right? So this is how they would recruit like girls. As young as 12? This is fucking horrifying. Hey, do you want to be a famous model? I work for a big, powerful modeling agency. So these modeling agencies are fronts for pedophile sex trafficking rings. The fronts. Trump owned a modeling agency. Hanging out with all these guys. Acosta gave Epstein a sweetheart deal in 2009. Trump put him in his cabinet. William Barr, who just stepped down. William Barr, who wasn't even the lead for arresting Ghislaine Maxwell. Someone underneath him was like, I want to go get Maxwell. And he was like, oh, wait, what? Oh, shit, now it's in the news. These are horrific monsters. They're not, these are evil, horrific people. Just as evil as the Nazis. The Nazis sat and hatched out the final solution. Oh, we'll get rail cars and we'll put people in gas chambers and then burn their bodies with ovens. There'll be no evidence. They sat and figured that out. A nice castle with white linens and fine china. That's how they did that. That's what these rich fucksticks did about. They did it about raping and selling children. And they use modeling in the fashion industry. Is everybody in the modeling and fashion industry, sex trafficking pedophiles? No. But it's pretty awful. It's an awful, horrific business. That's why there's ties. They all have ties to Hollywood. Like it's horrible. Graham, why don't you work in Hollywood anymore? Oh, I don't know. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know. Is there anything of that? Does that have anything to do with it? A Dutch model who said Brunel drugged and raped her in Paris in 1991. Finally, after so long, Brunel will hopefully be brought to justice. This is more than I hope for, justice for all his victims. Yeah, all the victims are coming forward saying this is a good thing, which give them a voice, let them say it. Epstein and Brunel were both friends and business partners, and Epstein provided Brunel a $1 million line of credit to help fund Brunel's MC2 model management agency, which was headquartered in Miami Beach. Where Epstein was busted the first time and got the sweetheart deal from Acosta, who said, and I quote, I was told to back off because Epstein was a CIA asset. See how they do that? One of the reasons why Epstein could just give someone $1 million line of credit, like, me loaning you $200 or something like that, is because what Epstein would do, I just want to show you how this whole world works. And I have an Epstein playlist, so this will be on it. Go watch. I've been doing these videos since Epstein got busted last July and then hung himself with a paper t-shirt. So I guess Brunel needs to ask himself, can the Clintons get to the Paris jails? Anyway, or Trump, the Clintons, the Trumps, they're all evil. They're all evil. If you're a QAnon person and you think Trump isn't involved with Epstein, you're a fucking idiot. You're fucking stupid. And QAnon is a psyop that preys upon people that they know aren't sharp. So, and you're allowing other billionaire sex trafficking pedophiles to be off the hook. The Clintons are pieces of shit. The Trumps are pieces of shit. They're awful. Biden has ties. I hate all these people. They're the worst people in the world. So one of the things Epstein would do, he would have, rich people over to one of his compounds, New Mexico, which the Clintons visited numerous times, or his filthy creep island, or, his penthouse in New York or whatever. And what Epstein did is he would then go, the butler would come up to the rich guy and say, would you like a massage from a beautiful young woman? Oh, sure. The woman, appearing to be a woman, would actually be a child, would perform sex acts. They would be videotapes. And then Epstein would say, I got footage of you, so let's play ball. And that person would then invest. Epstein had a fake hedge fund, never invested in anything. So it was used for leverage. And then the CIA, aware of this, isn't it great that our tax money helped pay for this? The CIA would be aware of this. And the CIA has long said, you can do whatever you got to do to get an asset. So I had John Kiriakou on this show, and I asked him about this. And he said that if the CIA wouldn't say it's okay for you to go get kids for a pedophile, but if you got a child for a pedophile to use that then pedophile as an asset for intelligence, the CIA would be okay with it. Our tax dollars pay for that. I'm just showing you, what do I say on the show? Connect the dots, follow the money. So that's why somebody like Epstein was a valuable asset for the intelligence community. So think of all of the children that could have not been brutalized had they gotten rid of Epstein, at least back in 08 or 09. So shut the fuck up if you think America's a great country. Brunel helped run the New York office of the famed Karen model agency throughout much of the 1990s and was a fixture at fashion parties and other events where he rubbed shoulders with Hollywood elites and even future president, then developer Donald J. Trump. So Trump hung out in New York with all these modeling people. This is back when Clinton was president, but Clinton, again, 26 times was on Epstein's plane. I think 8 of those times he refused Secret Service. Interesting. But the time he started MC2 management in Miami, which was incorporated in 2003, according to state records, others in the modeling world said he was more focused on recruiting young girls to be abused than legitimate modeling work. Here's this awful creep. Why are a bunch of these women not smiling? So why these people are such awful monsters and need to be taken out and their assets seized and why we need to hunt down Les Wexner. Like, how come cops can't shoot guys like this in the back? How come no cop ever put a knee on his neck? How come they only do it to poor people, mainly poor black people? Any cops out there? Tell me how many billionaires did you just beat the shit out of because you thought maybe he might be guilty? You protect and serve these fucking filthy creeps. I want to know how many cops out there just beat the shit out of a billionaire? Sir, I need you to see your ID. The billionaire reaches in his pocket. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, looked like he was going for his gun. Off the hook. I got to be honest, if there was video after 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 video of cops doing that to billionaires, especially sex trafficking pedophiles, I would have a big bowl of thoughts and prayers. But instead, it's usually just people of color. And then the All Lives Matter crowd goes, well, they do that to white people too. Yeah, all the more reason why you should want to hold cops accountable. But why can't they do it to this creep? Because what he's done is horrific. You want to know what it's like? This is a video put out by the Miami Herald. By the way, the Miami Herald has been the leader. They got this case reopened last summer. They really pushed this. They really pushed this to get Epstein arrested. Now, we haven't seen Epstein's body. We haven't seen Ghislaine Maxwell. We haven't seen any of these people in handcuffs incarcerated, which is becoming really odd. It's really weird. We haven't seen any of them. So I don't know if they're finally getting caught and they want to keep because they don't want them to die like Epstein did, or the billionaires that run the world are like, let's just put some show trials, say these people got arrested and keep them hidden or something. I don't know what. Rachel Maddow, why didn't you talk about Epstein for 4 years? How come you only talked about Russiagate? Wait, sorry.
Set aside the shame and humiliation, but what trauma does to your brain is change it. And so if you have someone who's been sexually assaulted and they are living in a cave of suffering, and they can't find their way out. You can't blame them for that. That's a medical psychological problem.
A lot of time being around older men just gives me like, you know, flashbacks. It's just trauma that I didn't even knew I had until, you know, I've worked through a lot of things through therapy and stuff like that. And you just don't even realize that going through something like that molds you to be how you are today. It was a very dark time in my life, but I just hope that basically he gets what prosecuted the way he should have been from the beginning.
What I thought was so little to my life has affected me so much. I've had children and I never tried. I can't have my breast touched. It brings back things. I tried to breastfeed for the first time, my third child, last year, and it was the most excruciating and heartbreaking thing to not be able to do it because the pain was so intense. Then it brought back something that felt so stupid back then, that I thought had no relevance, and that if I told anybody, they'd be like, "You're a whore. You wanted money. Why would you do that?" Like, nobody would understand. None of us talked about it after that. The friends, we never talked about stuff like that. I've been in therapy for over 10 years and I've never talked to my therapist about it.
I was always angry after that happened. I can remember punching holes in walls. There were some times where I would just like slam my head onto something. My thing that I wanted to do was like pick something up. I can remember the countertop at my parents' house. I was so upset. I just wanted to break it, and I ripped it off the countertop.
What were your parents saying at this time? Did they say like, we need to get you to get help? Or
they're like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "I don't know. I just want to fucking die. I just want to go away. I don't know what's wrong with me. I want to be somewhere else. I don't know what's wrong." And then they're like, "You want to kill yourself?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I just don't want to be angry anymore. I don't know why I'm so mad." And I was just thinking to myself, nobody is going to want to be with me again for the rest of my life. Like, I'm going to have to explain this for the rest of my life to anybody that I would really want to be with. And so it was awful.
You're just thrown into a world that you don't understand, and you don't know how to, you're screaming on the inside and you don't know how to let it come out. And you just become this numb figure who refuses to feel and refuses to speak and refuses. All you do is obey. That's it.
because it's probably easier, right?
It's much easier than ever talking about it. It takes a long time to start the healing process. I mean, I will never heal. There are pieces from me that can never be put back together. I mean, it took me having a daughter and looking at this beautiful, young, innocent baby to say, I want to speak out about it now. You know, if we can make that point across, that doesn't matter how rich you are, it doesn't matter how powerful you are, there are girls out there that will speak up. And I don't care if it's 10 years later or 15 years later, whenever you're ready to do it, you do it, you know, and you protect the ones that are younger than us. You protect the ones that we didn't protect before. These guys will get it in the end, because us girls are not going to sit here and just let this keep happening.
So that's the series called Perversion of Justice. You can read it. There's a lot of videos like that as well, but that's what happens to victims that are traumatized like this. So we're not letting these filthy rats off the hook. There's Prince Andrew with Peter Nygard. I just did a video because he just got arrested. This is his filthy fucking creep island. And then who else is connected to Peter Nygard? Oh, George Bush, Prince Andrew connected to Nygaard and Epstein, Lady Bush, Robert De Niro. Now, if he actually was with him on numerous times, that could just be one photo. I don't know. Maybe. But doesn't look good. Here's what really doesn't look good. Oprah had John of God, who's a cult leader and sexual predator, and Peter Nygaard on her show. Here's Victoria Roberts Giuffre, who was in that Miami Herald. This is with Prince Andrew. And then there's Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell's dad was in Mossad. There's Trump, Epstein, Maxwell. There's Ghislaine Maxwell at Chelsea Clinton's wedding. Two years after she settled out of court, accusations had already been made and the Clintons had her there. And we're supposed to believe the Clintons just didn't know. Right. Right. So Jean-Luc Brunel is in custody, supposedly. I still want to see these people. I want to see Nygaard. I want to see these people in custody. I want to see them in custody. How come we see everybody else in custody? If a working class guy got busted, we'd see his mugshot. How come we don't have Peter Nygaard's mugshot? How come we don't have Brunel's mugshot? How come we don't have Ghislaine Maxwell's mugshot? Where the fuck are their mugshots? So I'm going to keep doing this because I've been through some of this, not the horrors that those women have gone through, but I was abused as a kid by a woman. Pedophiles can be male or female. We know that true from Ghislaine Maxwell. And all this thing that those victims said about the rage and the disassociation and all that stuff, I know exactly what that's all about. And I can only begin to imagine what they've had to go through. So fuck the billionaire ruling class. Fuck the media that protects them. Fuck these two filthy, corrupt parties. And if we find out that these people are being let off the hook, or they're not really in custody, they're in some fucking cushy prison or something like that, awaiting some fake trial or whatever, round them up. Round them up. And if you think your party is somehow not as bad as the other party, or you think Trump isn't as bad or whatever, they're all tied into this. The Trumps, the Clintons, the Bushes, not even the Bush family. We got them in there. So I'll keep covering this story because the mainstream media this should be the main, like every big time investigative journalist should be crawling all over this story, going, how come we haven't seen Ghislaine Maxwell in custody? How come we haven't seen Peter Nygaard? You have to come to YouTube. I got to do this show. You got to watch a guy who does a show in his apartment. Like, right? You would think the guy with his apartment that doesn't have the huge research team, like CNN has just teams of people. They could put 12 people on this story. 12 people like that. Boom. Follow this. You're the lead. You're like editors, researchers, interns, journalists, on-camera talent, producers. They could put 12 people on this. Each MSNBC, CNN, Fox, they could all put 12 people on this, and they won't. And I got to dig through this. And a handful of us online. Whitney Webb, a couple other people are doing. Other people are doing. I think Sean Atwood. They're doing great work. I'm doing the best I can. So, to the victims of these filthy animals, I'll do the best I can. Thanks for supporting the show so I can keep covering stuff like this. It's not easy to cover, by the way. This is not easy to cover, but I will keep doing it as I've said that I would. So thanks for watching. You're making Gotham great again. Eat the rich. Boom. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood and rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, where you can support the show. Also, I have a Bitcoin wallet, a Bitcoin Cash wallet, and an Ethereum wallet in the show notes. We're taking cryptocurrency. I have a Coinbase affiliation link. We're going to be getting on some other exchanges. So that's how you support the show. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. YouTube is unsubscribing us at an alarming rate. I have a PayPal button at grahamelwood.com. I even have a Venmo at Graham-Elwood. There's a lot of ways to support our show. We are getting crushed by YouTube. We've dipped under 73,000 subscribers because of YouTube. Thanks for supporting what we do.